Hi, welcome back to Baking with Josh and Ange.
Hi everybody! I'm so excited because I'm home.
I know, we're so happy she's home.
I've had some jobs that took me on the road, most recently to New Orleans.
Yes.
And Josh was able to come for the weekend.
I was, and New Orleans is a cool town. We had a blast.
We had a blast. We ate a lot.
We did.
We ate so much.
It was so good. All of it was so good and saucy.
It was so good, but
spicy.
everything is tight, you guys. It's tight.
No.
But what we're baking today won't help that at all. So we did some sightseeing. This one got me up super early so we could go exploring.
Yeah, who wants to sightsee with a whole bunch of crowds, you know? You
Not
get there
this
early,
guy.
there's no one there. It's awesome.
But we walked around the Garden District.
Yeah, the Garden District was
Beautiful.
so beautiful. The homes over there were amazing.
Amazing. I was like, I could live there. I could live there. Had to get the kids Mardi Gras mask.
I mean, look how...
Look at these.
A little creepy, but really cool.
They love them. They were so into it. Josh and I dressed up one day and walked around, but we bailed pretty quickly.
We did. The same with Halloween. We're so lame. Like, we wear like coffee and donut costumes for Halloween, which is like, dressing up.
We tried. So if you're in New Orleans, you have to go to the French Quarter and go to Café Du Monde and get beignets.
Yes, which are donuts pretty much, which shocker. But they were so good. They were so good. There's like these square little donuts that are covered in powdered sugar, and they really were delicious.
They were great. And we walked over to Jackson Square Park and people were playing jazz, and I'm eating my beignet, and Josh is like, these are really good. I bet I could make them. Like, who says that? I would never be like, oh, I think I could make these.
I could, because they're like, you know, they're fried donuts. They're square donuts. So I was like, of course I can make them, but I might need to get a new gadget to do it. I ended up getting a deep fryer, just a small one, not a big deal, just a small one, so we can make the beignets the proper way. You can also do it like in a Dutch oven or a big pot, you know, with oil on the bottom, but if you want the exact temperature without using the thermometer,
and if you love gadgets and you want more kitchen gadgets, which you guys, we do not have a big kitchen. This house is an older house, built in 1939. We have a little kitchen, and we are running out of space. I feel like every month you're like, you know what? I could try this. I'm gonna buy a blowtorch. I'm gonna buy a deep fryer. I'm gonna buy, he wants to start making his own pasta. I'm like, ow, isn't that like another machine? So today we're gonna be making beignets, and also it's Valentine's, so you can give your sweetheart a beignet.
Yeah, who wouldn't want a fried donut for Valentine's Day?
I would.
I know my Valentine would.
I would, thank you. Thank you for my beignet. All right, Josh, what do we need to make beignets?
All right, here are the ingredients you'll need to make beignets. 3/4 cup warm water, 1½ teaspoons active dry yeast, 1/2 cup sugar, 1/2 cup evaporated milk, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon salt, 3½ cups flour, 2 tablespoons butter melted, and powdered sugar for dusting. So the first thing you do is activate the yeast, because your beignet dough is like a bread dough. You need to let it rise for a couple hours.
That makes me think of my BFF, Jenna Fisher, because if you guys watch her Insta stories, she is like obsessed with making bread.
She's bread crazy.
She's bread crazy. She reads about bread. She started reading about bread poetry. But Jenna, we thought a lot about you as we made these beignets.
Did, absolutely. So activating yeast is really easy to do, but it's also really easy to mess up. And it all has to do with water temperature, all right? So you wanna make sure you have warm water when you're activating your yeast, but it has to fall in between 100 degrees and 110 degrees. And that'll activate the yeast. If you get it too hot, it will kill it.
Tricky, guys, this is tricky.
Or you could just use the thermometer and make sure it's like perfect, okay? Which I would probably recommend. But you take the water, put it into a bowl, and then add your sugar and dissolve the sugar in the bowl, and then add the yeast on top. Stir that until everything is well incorporated. Then take a small plate and put it on top of the bowl and leave it alone for 15 minutes. How you'll know that the yeast activated correctly is when you take the plate off, the mixture should look really foamy. That's how you know that the yeast is working.
I feel like I'm in a science class.
I know, it's really cool because the yeast it's alive, you know? So you're actually getting it to grow. It's like a petri dish, you know? You're trying to get it foamy. You want the bread to rise and have air inside it, and it's all science.
That's probably why Jenna likes it too. I think that probably like appeals to her. All right, so we've activated our yeast. What's the next step?
Okay, the next step is to make the dough. So you can use a stand mixer or a bowl. So we just used a large bowl to make our dough. All right, so the first step is to add the yeast that we just activated into the bowl. Once you add the yeast to the bowl, the next step is to add the evaporated milk, the egg, the salt, and then you're going to whisk that together until it's combined. Then you want to slowly add the flour and mix with a large spoon or a paddle attachment if you're using a stand mixer. Then add the melted butter. Then you can finish by adding the rest of the flour, and at this point you might need to get your hands in there to knead the dough. And if you're using a stand mixer, you can use a hook attachment. Knead the dough for about 2 minutes. When the dough is holding together nicely, transfer it to a large oiled bowl. Then you want to cover it loosely with plastic wrap or a kitchen towel and let the dough rise for 2 to 3 hours until it's doubled in size. So the dough is ready to roll out, but first we need to heat up our oil. So I went ahead and filled this deep fryer with canola oil, and we're heating it to 370 degrees. So we're gonna let that heat up while we roll out the dough.
Okay.
Would you like to flour the surface?
I would love to flour the surface.
Just kind of shake it all around. Yep.
Okay.
Be pretty generous
Shake
with
it
the
all
flour.
around. Should I put my apron on?
You might get messy with this.
Okay, I'm putting my apron on.
You probably should get your apron because beignets are kind of messy with the flour and then the powdered sugar dusting and the frying. It does get messy.
Okay, I thought this apron was appropriate.
I think that one's perfect for today.
This one's a pretty good one. I mean, we're making beignets, but Josh keeps calling them just basically a donut.
They're square donuts, really.
Okay, fine.
I mean, more or less, they're square donuts. All right, so now that this is floured, we're going to roll out our dough. Now,
Okay.
the reason you want to grease the bowl is so the dough doesn't stick to it, obviously. When you're working with the dough, you want to make sure your hands are floured too, so your hands don't stick there. So we're just going to push this dough out into like kind of a rectangle. So we're going to roll this dough out to about 1/4 inch thick. And it should be about a 9 by 12 rectangle is what we're going to end up with. So we're going to use this rolling pin, and we're going to put some flour on that too so it doesn't stick to the dough.
Okay.
And then we're just going to roll out the dough. So we'll go this way, and then we'll go this way.
Can I do it a little bit?
I want you to do it.
Clearly, look at me. Look at how I roll and how Josh rolls.
Now that we have it rolled out to about where we want it, it doesn't have to be perfect, perfect rectangle, obviously, but we're going to cut it into 2-inch squares, and that's where the old ruler comes in handy.
Science class!
Yeah, now it's like geometry. Measure on top.
With a clean ruler.
The clean ruler that I washed, and just put little marks where the 2 inches.
So now you're kind of making 2-inch strips.
2-inch strips, and then we'll cut across to make the 2-inch squares. Also, you can use a pizza cutter.
Ah, do you like that better?
Is
it smoother?
It is a little bit smoother, so it actually works pretty good. But either one will work. You want to try the pizza cutter?
I do,
Alright,
because it looks fun.
Here.
Did I do it?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oops, fart. Ah.
Yeah, it's okay. So now we're going to take all these little pieces and we'll put them over here next to the fryer. Our fryer is pretty small, so we'll only do 3 beignets at a time. But the beignets cook so quick that it won't take too long.
All right, ready? It's showtime.
It's showtime. It's donut time.
Donut time.
Yay!
It's beignet time.
Beignet time. All right, so now that our oil has heated up to 370 degrees, it's time to make them. They're really easy to make. We're just gonna put 3 little beignet squares into our fryer basket, and I'm going to gently lay them in. You want to make sure they're just on the surface of the oil, and then while they're cooking, just kind of spoon some oil over the top. So we're gonna do this for about 30 seconds. And then we'll flip them. We'll do the other side the same exact way.
So then after we flip them and we add the little oil on top, we're just gonna wait till they're kind of golden brown.
I don't know, what do you think?
I think they're done. I think they're done.
So we're gonna let them drain in this fry basket for a second, and then we'll transfer them to the wire rack, and then we can put the powdered sugar on top.
And then I wanna eat one.
And then we can eat one.
And then I wanna eat one.
Done, look how cute they came out.
They're so cute!
All right, so now the fun part comes, all right? Beignets, traditionally, come with a ton of powdered sugar.
A ton. At Café Du Monde, they gave us them in a bag. We got like a bag to go, and they were like just drenched.
It's a bag of powdered sugar.
Yeah.
You don't have to put as much on if you don't want to, but they are really good with a lot of powdered sugar. I have a little sifter here, so I'm gonna put some powdered sugar into the sifter. So then just kind of tap on there.
Oh, they look so cute. Already.
We're done. That's a beignet, and we have a lot more to make, but look, this is done.
Look how cute this little guy is.
All right, here we go.
Oh. Those are really good, babe.
How'd I do?
You did great.
How similar to Café Du Monde?
I mean, Like the same.
Right?
Like the same.
Pretty good. All right, we did it.
That is so good. Whenever Josh and I go somewhere, if I get something and he's like, I bet I can make that, I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. You did great.
Thanks.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for stopping by our kitchen. I'm so happy to be home. We're gonna be baking for you this month. We are gonna start doing every other Sunday.
Yep.
On the baking channel.
We're gonna try to do 2 videos a month.
2 videos a month because we're just a little busy and a little behind at the house.
That's true.
But we are gonna also be doing recipes every week on the website and on Instagram.
Exactly. So I'm gonna probably up the recipe output on Instagram and on our website instead. So, but we'll still do videos. Just it'll be twice a month.
All right, thanks you guys for stopping by and happy Valentine's.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day. Give your Valentine a squeeze.
A big squeeze. All right, bye guys.
Bye. Did you find a place for us to live?
I did, and then I have like a little walking tour. I've been reading to Josh the history. Okay, we're ready to go walk around.
Or rob a bank or something.
I don't know. Café Du Monde. You know I had to get a beignet. Josh made me wear a hat and sunglasses. I feel a little silly.